Privyet, comrades, how are you? This is the professor. I got a new hat. It's proven a little difficult to break in. Trying to break it in. The hat's got to fit right. And when they're new, they're kind of like, look at it, it's like a big box. I got to break it down. Break it down. Break it down. Um, Boy, where to start? I have a video here. I think it's Siberia-esque. And I just want to say it's good to be back. I've missed you guys. Um, I'm just going through VK, looking at all the messages, looking at everybody's comments, learning. I didn't know what the 23 was. Congratulations to the Red Army. Very good. Congratulations on eating pancakes for the whole week. That festival sounds amazing. I think I'm going to have to do, this is going to be a video about Siberia slash an American, right? An American spiel. I got to tell you, I've talked about this in other videos, right? Russia, and I think I need to do two videos in addition to this. One about how Russia is portrayed in America and give you examples. Another one is, I forgot what the other one was. I just forgot it. That's what happens when you get old, my friends. You start to lose your train of thought. Ah, the professor's old. Ah. Anyways, I'm sure it'll come back to me. Um, oh, maybe I'll do a video of like top American movies that represent America, like the culture, so you guys can watch them and kind of understand where the American comes from, because the American is what I'm learning is difficult compared to global nations, other nations, and I think sometimes that difficultness is good and can be helpful, and sometimes it's just a big pain in the ass, right? Sometimes it's just a huge pain in the ass. So let me just start with this to my Russian friends. I was raised in a Cold War setting. I knew Khrushchev, that dirty bastard. You know, that's kind of what was taught to us, that dirty bastard. He was going to put bombs in Cuba, right? Thank God for JFK that he saved the world and defeated Russia. Kind of the pretense of where I grew up in. Child of the Cold War. I remember Ronald Reagan's speech, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And that was like, Americans going crazy. The idea of Russian hockey, how evil they are, and thank God these kids from the Olympics beat these evil Russian hockey players. Like, come on, dude, it's hockey. And I look at it now and it's just so ridiculous because, dude, is the is the forward on the Russian national team, is he really an evil bastard? I don't even know who he is. How much did he really do against America? Like, was he like, let us infiltrate their school systems? Like, come on. What I'm learning from all this is the American propaganda is over the top, and I'm getting sick of it. I am absolutely getting sick of it. Russia is always the enemy. Always. Like, come on, dude. Come on. Like, you know, this this VK experiment, I'm amazed. It's like this is what I was taught about Russia. Okay? And forgive me, this is going to be a rambling video. I'm like the dude who said a few drinks that shows up. Hey, Russia, man, I love you. You know that guy in the bar, like, hey, bro. It's just I've been away from the camera for a bit with work, so here we go. I was taught that Russia is an atheist nation. America is a Christian nation. They're atheists. You can't trust them. They have no moral compass on anything. That Russia is base in its morality. That there is no idea of right or wrong with them. It's just global domination. So how can you ever trust them? And then lo and behold, what do I see? Eastern Orthodox images being sent to me. Christians in Russia getting baptized in freezing cold to commemorate Jesus' baptism in the Jordan. does not compute against my programming, right? Russians are mean. They're cold. They're heartless. I was literally given a T-shirt, right? When I was a kid that said better dead than red. And another one, kill a commie for mommy, right? That's what the T-shirt said. What did that mean? That means that I need to be prepared when I grow up to be able to pay the sacrifice to defeat Russia. And then you go in through the images that's just woven in our society. In the movies, it's always Russia, always. Every now and then you get a Chinese, and then they have to change it real quick because America's afraid of China, apparently. Come on, man. It's just so ridiculous. And here I am on VK with you guys. Met how helpful people are. I I literally get between emails and comments and messages. I literally get 1,000 messages a day between all the platforms. And out of this, I don't know how long has it been with Russia? Not long, 3 months, 4 months. That's close to 1 million messages, maybe. If my math's right off the top of my head. Maybe there's been one jerk, maybe one, who kind of told me to go F myself, you nasty American dummy person, right? Maybe. And who knows? Everybody's got crazies, right? Okay, whatever. But the kindness, man. I'm overwhelmed by the kindness. I'm overwhelmed by the beauty of the Russian culture. It does and again, and I've made this reference way before on the Sting video. To the Russians of their children too. I really think I was wrong about Russia, completely wrong, and I have to tell you, I'm mad at my government for doing it, right? Because this is what I feel like. This is what I feel like as an American. I feel like America doesn't have the balls just to say, hey, we're imperialists and we're going to go out and colonize the world if you don't like it, right? They don't do that. What they do is they set up these pretenses to the American people to make it seem like they're doing this on our behalf to forward this agenda because at all costs we have to stop Russia. I don't think Putin is laying in bed thinking about how is he going to kill me. I don't. I don't think the forward on the 1980 Russian national hockey team is thinking about how must I kill the professor? How can I destroy his? I don't think that's happening. I I I think what you have between America and Russia are two superpowers who have their own agendas. And I mean their agendas, I don't mean that in a negative way, their own self-interest. And there's nothing wrong with it. We have our own self-interests, right? I want a better job. I want a nicer car. I want a nicer house. I mean, I want to spend more time with it. We all have agendas. There's nothing wrong with the agenda. The problem with the agenda is when my agenda then cuts you short. And I think what we have here is America's manifest destiny idea that somehow we are entitled because we're better than everybody. We're Americans, yo. We're entitled to what to do, right? But if we just came out and said that, we would look like major asses, major asses. If the government came out and said that, the American people would be like, whoa, whoa. And you're already getting a taste of the American people with Trump. Everybody's going to get fired in America, like all the politicians. Everybody's going to get fired. And then I think you have the Soviets who are operating on what's best for our country. How do we secure everything? How do we have enough, enough fuel, enough resources? How do we take care of our people? And so when the two come together, America's like the used car salesman. I'm afraid to say that. And they're like, hey, why don't, no. Be on the right side of history. Come on, join us. No, you're getting this wrong. And I give a prime example as I watched an interview with an American who was a Russian expert. And he was talking about why you don't see America and the Soviet Union team up on terrorism, right? Because we could use the help. If America and Russia and India all teamed up and Israel all teamed up on terrorism, the terrorists would be done. Be done, dude. Done. Game over. And he said it's not going to happen because it goes to the first Gulf War with Saddam Hussein. And he said Colin Powell approached his counterpart in the Soviet Union and said, we would really like your help in securing Iraq and petitioning it off and getting a sense of order here. And Russia's response was, what are you going to do with the oil? Because it was very much if there's going to be an oil split, we'd be happy to help you because we have needs back home, right? We have needs back home to take care of stuff. And the American response was like, no, 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 no. We're not talking about the oil. We're talking about being on the right side of history. The right side of history seemed a little bit like a cop-out. It seemed a little bit like we're going to take the oil, and we don't want to tell you we're going to take the oil, and we're going to do some, come on, man. I mean, when you think about it in realistic terms, if somebody said, hey, professor, can you help me move this couch? Yeah, sure, okay, give you a hand, right? If you say, hey, professor, I'm going to need you here for 4 years rebuilding my house, I'm going to say, what are you going to pay me? I mean, you're asking me to step away from my life for 4 years? That's a lot. To put my own interests aside to help you with this? That's a lot. That's not just a favor. That's not like, hey, can we use your airspace? We're going to fly over Russia. Is that okay? No, it's like, well, we want you to commit your Russian blood, your soldiers, your sons and daughters to come into harm's way for an American idea, an American exchange that is happening. And here's the rub that you need to know. When I say the American way, what's going on is not the true American way. It's not. It's the globalist way. It is the New World Order. I'm so afraid that the globalists have infiltrated America and they're running it. And if you were to take the images, this exchange, this, may I say, love affair between the professor and the Soviets that is happening, if you were to take our exchanges, our videos, the stuff that you guys send me, the music, the movies, the well wishes, the gifts, the knowledge, I mean, and you were to do that with average Americans, average Americans would go, does not compute, does not compute. I mean, we would short circuit. We would just be like, whoa. And then they would take some time and realize that they've been duped and they would be pissed. Super pissed. I mean, revolutionary pissed. Not Thomas Jefferson revolution, let's vote him out. Like French Revolution. Like, boy, this is like the longest intro ever. I'm so sorry to the one guy who said, I just wanted to see the Siberian stuff. And he's getting a Professor diatribe. I'm just happy to be back. I was gone so long. I'm happy to be back. Okay, so let's take a look at that video now. Is he trying to warm up to the exhaust of the car? Was he trying to warm up to the exhaust of the car? That's what it looked like. Very cool. Now, I live in Arizona, and when you go up north in Arizona, you go up mountains, and we have big forest, snow, right? A lot of people don't think about Arizona with the desert and snow. And we have elk that look like a moose.
but we have elk that are that big, and they just stand in the road and look at you like, uh, that was cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and please make sure you check out the links. Like, I got my Facebook there, I got my Twitter, I got my VK. What, comrade? You got to hit me up on VK. VK is awesome. I got the website for Dark Sky Radio, which is our internet radio station. It's a work in progress. I'm adding content, I mean, this is it. I'm a one-man show, so bear with. We're adding stuff. So check that stuff out. I'll catch you guys later. Peace and much love from the professor to Russia. Enjoy your pancakes. I'll catch you guys later.